So, hi again. By the way, I just love your name because I'm a big fan of Terminator movie series. So, you've got the awesome name. So,
yeah, I definitely lucked out with that one.
I would say so. My name is George Rain. Rain is the real surname, even here in the Czech Republic, which sounds kind of crazy here. But, yeah. When I lived in Scotland and it was raining all the time and everyone was saying just fucking rain all the time, I was just, watching them. What the hell is going on? Yeah.
What did I do?
Exactly like that. But so you're in the Czech Republic now, and so we meet this way because you played some gig here and you're gonna play some other gig here in the Czech Republic. So that's why we would like to talk about your band and yourself and stuff like that. So hi again, my name is George, as you know, from Backstage TV and TV Rebel, and I'm gonna give you a couple of questions. I hope you will like them. So the first one, you're in the Czech Republic now, so how do you like it here? Is the obvious one. How do you like it here? What's the difference between America and middle of or heart of Europe, in your opinion?
Well, first I'll start with the first part of your question. Me and the guys in Doggy Dog love the Czech Republic. We've been coming here since 1994 and 95 were our first trips to Czech, and it's a fabulous place. I mean, the more we are here, the more we love it, and we're production team here, so our backlog we store in Europe when we're not on tour is based here. Our family, our sound man, driver, our backline guy, all come from Czech. So we have a great connection for more than 20 years with Prague and Czech. And yeah, it's fantastic. I would say the differences between here and at home in the States, to me, is more of the way things look. The cobblestones, the interesting roofs, it's an old city. We don't have this history in America like you do here. And I think around the world now, it's very hard to find differences between cultures. We're all shopping in the same places. We're all consuming the same TV shows and movies now and music. It used to be in the 1980s and early 90s, it was very regionalized, So we were coming over from the States in 1990 with Mucky Pup, and I was wearing Airwalks and baggy shorts and skate clothing, and the kids in Germany were wearing like leather pants and things like that, still dressing that way. But now everybody looks the same. If you took kids from 5 different countries around the world and put them in a picture, you wouldn't tell who's from where. So that's one of the things.
They would know, and like the same movies and same music, as you said, same, TV shows.
Right, so we kind of have the same culture and the same information. It's just little regional things that are different that you can find here in Czech that you wouldn't find in the States. And like I said, it looks very different than Washington, D.C., which is one of the older places in America and maybe the most historical part of the States. And even Washington to Prague is a very, very different, and that's cool. We love differences. We love diversity. We love that there are many things that make us equal and the same, but also these little things that make us different are what's interesting about the world.
Perfect. And do you like Czech food and Czech beer? What do you think about that?
Sure, I'm drinking Guinness now, but that's because that's all I had in my hotel room. I'm a big fan of Guinness, but of course we love Pilsner. We love some of the smaller kind of micro brews as well. Doggy Dog is well into beer, so we definitely get into that. As far as Czech food goes, yeah, sure. We love the goulash, but I think maybe that's Hungarian. Potato pancakes. I mean, it's kind of regional. Let's put it this way. Our middle name is Eat, dog, eat, dog. So eat is very important to us, no matter where we are.
Okay, brilliant. So you played the Prague Summer Festival a couple of days ago, right? So how was the crowd? How was the gig? And how was the audience? How did you enjoy the gig?
Everything was perfect. Let me tell you, we hadn't seen the Offspring in some years. We go back to those guys to like 1994. We had a gig in Amsterdam supporting them when both of our careers were just really getting started, and they were already hitting very big in America, and Doggy Dog was starting to hit in Europe. So we had a great time with them back then, and it was nice to reunite and see some old friends. And then, of course, open air on a Sunday in Prague. Rock for People did the production, so sound and lights were top quality. My only complaint is somebody fucked up with the beer, and there was huge lines for beers. People had to wait like a half hour to get a beer, and that's not acceptable in Czech Republic. I'm sorry.
Yeah, let's say everyone, because because this is not right. Let's tell everyone. Okay, so and how is the Party and Bullshit tour going so far? Because you just made quite a couple of gigs here in Europe, and so how is the crowd now, like now and before COVID? Is it change, or did it change, or are the people still the same amounts of fans and stuff like that?
Yeah, I think people are about the same, the way they behave, the way they interact with the band. It's not like people are standing away from us because they're afraid to catch corona or something. I would say in general that there's a little less people around than maybe there was before. Not even speaking about one gig or one city, just even by being here in Prague. Normally in 2018, 2019, when we were here, you would see kids, so many tourist kids from Italy and Spain and US and France, and there's not a lot of people around here in Prague. Maybe it's gonna start getting busy, I don't know. People are going to shows. I think most music fans were and are still very desperate for live shows and connections and things like this.
Sure.
And Doggy Dog is the kind of band that is very close with our fans. So we're in the crowd before and after the show. We're signing autographs, taking selfies, shaking hands, kissing babies, whatever it takes. We want to be close with the people because we are the people, you know. We're fans of music. We're brothers, we're sons, we're uncles. No daddies.
No daddies, not yet. Okay.
Not yet. Not that we know of. But what I want to say is that, yeah, like the fans, we're also kind of desperate for these connections, and we know that we missed out on 2 years of touring and songwriting and even just being together. Our band is spread apart in 2 different continents, many different cities, from New Jersey to DC to Zurich to Prague to Frankfurt. So we're really spread out around the world, and the only time we can get together is to do shows. So this is critical for our mental and spiritual well-being.
When we fire, we shoot to kill. Knock your back like a drink or pill. Entertainer who are born to thrill. Live today, tomorrow, pay no bill. We're strong, we live free. We gon' fight, they'll see. Call a doctor or a priest. Ring a lawyer, call the police. Tell anyone you think you might need. Nobody gonna stop our team. Call a doctor or a priest. Ring a lawyer, call the police. Tell anyone you think you might need. But nobody gonna stop our team. No.
And as far as I know, you are one of the longest serving members of the band, because together with the bass player, you were there during the whole years,
Yeah.
and whole career. So how would you describe the Doggy Dog music and philosophy? For example, who just came up with the idea of using the saxophone in this kind of music? Because this is kind of original and special.
It is special, and over the years, I really appreciate that a small decision made an original sound. So with us, when we started Doggy Dog, Dave and Sean and myself, we wanted to create a band that had no boundaries. You know, we loved lots of different types of music, from metal to hardcore to hip hop to pop, reggae, soundtrack, so many different things. And I was inspired in 1989 when I was on tour with Mucky Pup, Dave and Sean's old band, that I heard Urban Dance Squad for the first time. And these guys were crossing like movie samples, clean guitar, heavy guitar, DJ scratches, rap vocals, so many different things. And I said, wow, this is really fresh and new. And this is kind of the direction that if we're going to do a band, that I would like to go. And while we were creating the first batch of Dog Eat Dog songs, we wrote a song called The Strip Song. And the Strip Song made it on our first album, and it has a very burlesque part, you know, da-da-da-da-da-da. So, of course, it made sense to put a saxophone there. Mm-hmm. So that was the first opportunity. And when we started playing out, people were like, you know what, the saxophone and your guitar sound and the way the voices are, like, it fits. So organically, we brought more and more sax into songs like Who's the King and Pull My Finger and No Fronts. So it happened by mistake, but sometimes the best decisions are mistakes, and we're happy to make that decision.
Come on. I want to see everybody front to back getting up in the air on this one, okay? Yeah! All the way back.
Perfect. Okay. And so, will you be able to tell me three things from your band's career which you are mostly proud of? Something like 3 highlights.
Okay.
Or say something like this.
Let's see. First highlight, I would say, is getting signed, right? Getting our record deal.
Roadrunner Records, right?
Yeah. We put together some demos, and we found a way to attract enough attention to get signed. So critical and important step number 1 was getting signed. I would say second major kind of moment was like, let's call it the summer of 1995. You know, we played Dynamo Open Air, Ping Pop, like some of the biggest festivals in Europe, and we put our flag on the ground and said, hey, we're here, we're doing something special. And I'd say the third most important thing then is like surviving the downturn, you know, when you're not on MTV anymore and you don't have a record contract anymore and you have this adversity, you find out really what is important to you and what you're made of, right? So we were like, fuck, like, you know, in the beginning when we started, it wasn't easy, but it was fun. And then, of course, we had success, and then some business problems occurred, and instead of quitting, we decided we were going to get small and take away some of the business side and just make it about fun again, like in the beginning. And we were able to resurrect ourselves and our career, and most of all, our feeling for the music and our joy of being in Dog Eat Dog. I think that was critical, and that was many years ago. That was like 20 years ago or something. And I'm going to add the fourth one.
Okay. No problem.
That is in 2016 when we decided to start creating new music again. You know, it was a really big step. For many years, we felt like, hey, we're just having fun playing old songs. Nobody expects anything from us. It's just about fun. And then we realized in 2016, like, hey, we're still a good band. You know, we still have something to say. And I think when we decided that we wanted to write new music, our guitar player, Roger, became a permanent part of the band, and we started another chapter. So I think all of these things were important moments for the band and critical to being where we are today.
Okay, because that was 11 years after the last album before, right?
Yeah.
11 years of not releasing anything. Okay, so yeah, that's great. And are you planning any recordings now, or are you working on something new?
Yes, prior to the pandemic, we were writing songs actually here in Prague. Because as I mentioned earlier, we really only get together when we're on tour. Because geographically, we don't live together. So similar to what we're doing this summer, we would come over, we'd play festivals on the weekend, and then on weekdays, we would go off to, for instance, Cross Club is actually where we wrote a lot of the new songs. Friends of ours in a great band called Jede from right here in Prague had a room, and they allowed us to use their space, and we just got together, drink a couple pivos, smoke a joint, eat a pizza, and next thing you know, we wrote an album. So
Great.
We finished writing the album just kind of recently. We're still finishing the last songs, but we have a bunch of recordings still to do. But the plan is to have a record out for next summer for festival season 2023. And we're very excited about the material. We feel like there is plenty of songs that are going to make longtime Dog Eat Dog fans happy. But we also feel like it's important that if we are doing some new music, that we show some new growth and maybe go places and say things that we've never said before. So I find that most interesting about the new music.